Okay, let's get started here. Good morning, good afternoon if you're on the East Coast, or good morning if you're on the West Coast, and welcome to the webinar. I'm Dave Petrovsky, and along with Jeff Ryan, we're going to show you how you can transform your sales organization with SAP Sales Cloud, or as it's sometimes called, C4C, or Cloud for Customer. So if you hear those two terms, they mean the same thing, SAP Sales Cloud or C4C. So we'll start out with introductions, then we'll give you a little overview of Asar, who we are as an organization. We'll talk about some sales organization challenges, features needed today in CRM, business benefits of the SAP Sales Cloud. We'll give you a Sales Cloud overview, and then you'll get to see a demo of SAP Sales Cloud with the new user interface, which is pretty cool. And then we'll follow up with a question and answer. So if you have questions, please submit your questions during the webinar, and we'll address those at the end. My name's Dave Petrovsky. I'm a partner with Asar. I spent the last 15 years selling services in the CX space with experience in sales, service, and commissions clouds, commerce clouds, as well as CPQ. Thank you for joining today. Jeff? Jeff, are you on mute? Okay, a little bit about Asar. Asar is an SAP CX certified gold partner. We're based in Chicago, been in business since 2010, focused totally on customer experience. We're a national organization with customers from the East Coast to the West Coast. You may have heard of our managing partner, Sanjay Singh. He's an SAP press author for a number of SAP press books, C4HANA, Sales Cloud, and SAP Hybris. I like to say he wrote the book on SAP CX. Our solution focus is SAP Sales, Service, and Commerce Clouds. We have Field Service Management, CPQ, SAP Commissions, and Customer Data Cloud as well. I think what we bring is an excellent experience in tying the CX on the front end with ERP on the back end to deliver a complete lead to cash process, for whichever industry you're in. And we have a lot of cross industry domain expertise in manufacturing, high tech, wholesale distribution, life sciences, amongst others. But like I said, we can really adapt CX to whichever business you're in and show you how SAP CX solutions will enhance your business. Now, one of the biggest challenges businesses can face is dealing with poorly organized data. This can become a frustrating issue, when you're looking for important sales information, but you have to look through dozens of various documents, charts, and spreadsheets. Lack of integration to marketing, service, quotes, ERP information really does not provide a complete view of the picture. Now, keeping track of your tasks, calls, and email with your customer can be a painstaking process without automation. When everyone knows how they should proceed with specific tasks and knows how to enter specific data into the system, it allows for less confusion and increased productivity. Inconsistency in sales execution leads to lost deals and missed quotas, and low sales productivity due to disconnected processes and systems. And without integration, you can't consolidate data gathered from a variety of sources and using that data to predict your future sales. And without accurate forecasting, you can't really plan effectively for the future. Sales and marketing collaboration, without centralized processes and data, it's difficult to have clear communication between your marketing and sales teams. And without the marketing team, sales wouldn't have anyone to follow up with. And without sales, marketing doesn't have a clear goal. So they should be connected, but are often completely separate from each other in a business setting. It also can be a challenge to provide quality customer service without service-oriented tools. So sales and service history is really important information to have available in real time to address the needs of your customers when they call and have an issue. As a business, it's also important to be present on and aware of social media. Many organizations struggle to find appropriate tools to monitor the social scene. And with the right tools, you can schedule posts, you can access analytics, monitor your competitors, and much more. With mobility, in order to survive in business today, you really need access to systems wherever you may be, whether home, office, or on the road, offline as well. You really need access on multiple devices such as phone or tablet when a laptop is not appropriate or convenient. So mobility is key with today's sales organization challenges. To be an effective salesperson today, you really need a 360-degree view of the customer. And this is where SAP Sales Cloud comes in, where you can keep an eye on your customer's profile, your purchase history, visibility into inventory, visibility into marketing promotion, etc. You really need a single source of data for contacts, leads, opportunities, and activities. Knowing your customers and what they need is a great start to get more leads, increase your conversion rate, and also improve the customer experience. But most of all, integration is key. Manual data input, keeping records in Google spreadsheets or Microsoft Office, lack of instant notifications, manual checking of task statuses. Does that sound familiar? Integration with your marketing, service, CPQ, and ERP really provides a single view of the customer, his history, and his satisfaction. It also provides you with valuable information to make selling decisions. How much should I quote? How much should I discount? Are they a happy customer? These all go into a more strategic decision-making process. The customers of every business are today present on social media, where companies have lost the power to start conversations about their products. They can now participate in ongoing conversations surrounding their brands on social media. Social analytics allow businesses to really analyze what the consumers are demanding and how the company can ensure a good brand presence. And having all of this available in CRM today is very important. Big data is useless. You really need smart data. So companies are gathering large amounts of data on a daily basis. But now that data is stored in their system, there is a need to analyze that data with AI to provide insights in order to make smart decisions. So when you have a 360-degree view of your clients and how they contribute to your business, you can really identify the market segments, which are your cash cows. Then you can cross-sell and upsell to them or invest in the content specifically targeted to the desired segment. Automation is another feature provided by CRM. Gone are the days of repetitive data entry or double work. Since every task within CRM is automated to some extent, it really lets you save a lot of time by performing tasks on its own. So you can now spend your time on much more important productive tasks like selling. And CRM will automatically store and retrieve all your contacts whenever you need them. Have a pending event, simply schedule it from within CRM and let your clients' employees know about it by triggering automatic follow-ups. Want to know how many emails you sent to a particular customer? It's in CRM. It provides you with the exact steps you need to take in order to nurture the leads. Finally, millennials are both, buyers and sellers. So, you can't escape mobile. Salespeople can now deal with clients using their mobile phones and tablets. When going to a meeting, they have all of the up-to-date information they need on their devices, and they can see in real time what actions are needed to close potential opportunities. They now have the ability to conduct business from anywhere, and mobility is definitely a key for CRM today. So some of the business benefits of SAP Sales Cloud that you're going to see from Jeff later on is the ease of use. It's really an easy to use with the new user interface and the integration that he's going to show you. It's going to provide better sales performance. So by following quality leads, sales cycles are really reduced and win rates are improved. And you can, check customer buying histories to identify potential leads, upsell opportunities, or repeat customers. It's going to provide efficient processes where you can focus your time on selling and profitability. Stronger data security is going to provide you with all your data in one place instead of disparate and disconnected desktops. And it's going to optimize your mobility. So you have access to real data on any device. So SAP Sales Cloud really offers an AI-powered platform that empowers your salespeople to personalize buyer engagements. It's going to guide them to close more deals faster and align their behavior to their business goals for a streamlined lead to cash process. And think of it truly as a lead to cash process. Now I'm going to pass it over to Jeff so he can show you how SAP makes all of this happen.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, David. So I'm going to begin sharing my screen here, and we'll cover the piece here that we like to call the customer 360 view here. So in the 360 view, what you're going to get out of this package, you're going to get the contacts, your accounts, your activities, basically the setup tools that you need to be proficient at maintaining a customer master record or maintaining business in general. So these areas here will all be touching on in the demo. About how fluid it is and how SAP has really streamlined access to the most important information that your sales reps are going to use to maintain the momentum of selling. So I'll jump now to the next slide. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the ease of how we're going to do the demo out here is going to be through the demo scenarios. We have the theme we're going to cover. We're going to cover the marketing, the sales, the service, the mobile app, and then at the very end, we're going to touch on integration capabilities. Okay. So SAP releases quarterly releases. We have a quarter release that just came upon us, and that was the SAP 2008 release. And in that, they released this new SAP theme called Safira, which we'll cover. SAP during this release is going for more modern look and feel, color patterns, and also, the click reductions, which helps you get to the most important access parts of your system. So I'm going to jump out now. I'm going to go into our system. So this, I'm going to log into our demo instance of C4C here, our call for customer. Okay. So immediately you're going to get launched to what we call the home page, and I've heard it also be called the tile page, as you can tell from the different tiles that are displayed here. If I click on this, you'll see the areas we're going to cover here as well in the side panel view. During this release, they've actually streamlined it to where you can actually have this hidden like this, and it expands your UI, giving you an easy to read visual to your home page or any page you're currently on. You can maximize that effort to get more information on one screen. So you can see here we have important information around feeds. This is basically what I'm tracking as my stuff for the day. Also, SAP is also enabled a SMS messaging as well as in-system messaging. So if I'm working in collaboration with one of my teammates, they could actually do an @ symbol at any of our objects and pull me right into that object so I can collaborate with them. You can also see my upcoming events from a couple of these tiles. And again, these tiles are all configurable. They could be made to your business use. So I have a couple upcoming events, and we'll touch base on this later. But as I was talking about the theme, you can see the color enhancements here for anyone that's seen the previous installations. You can see that they've enhanced the color pattern. So here we get kind of more of a reddish orange, really pop of color, is a more modern look and feel, and actually draws your attention naturally with your eyes. So it'll have bold text in the backplay of non-bold text, really contrasting really well. We have tasks set up here. Now these images here are reports. So you can see here that I have a win-loss report that I like to see. This for me as a sales rep, and I log in for the day, I want to see what my win-loss rates is at. I want to see my deals won. I want to track this information. So these I've actually marked as my most used reporting. But again, SAP comes out of the box with over 200 free reports in the system, and we'll touch base on that later. And those could all be added here at your home tile. And all it takes is a click of a button to jump you right into that report from here. Okay, so I'll jump back here. Now we're going to move on to the marketing. So the marketing, SAP has enabled a couple of functionalities inside C4C that allows for increased customer interactions, analytical data behind the messages you send out, which is a big piece, and then easy lead generation, which comes off of you actually actively marketing out to clients. Okay, so I'm going to jump to that, and we'll see that live in the system here. So going down the panel here, I'm going to jump to what we call a sales campaign. So sales campaigning has this functionality of two-tier function, which is emailing out through email blast which is just, it could be as something as simplistic as sending a monthly newsletter, or it could be as sophisticated as maybe a Q4 reach out to other customers to see if they're interested in buying products. So if you actually click into these, after you send out your messages, you could select the teams you want, the members you want actually sent out there. So for this demonstration, I actually clicked on all of our clients that use hardware. So these are hardware clients. I also have one set up for our medical clients. So as a sales rep, I could come in here, I could put in using HTML5 or documents, I could actually put attachments in there. This one was actually our newsletter. We had a Q2 newsletter, and I sent these emails out to these customers. Now what you're gonna get is you're gonna get a analytical data back showing you a graph of who's responded, who has looked at that email, who doesn't want to subscribe maybe anymore to your emailing list. It gives you all that raw information right inside the system. And what that allows you to do, it actually allows you to have a quick answer back, and it also allows you to generate those information you receive in analytical terms to leads. So for instance, on this one here, I actually have there's a built-in metrics that actually shows you what came back. So you can see stuff like hard bounces would indicate that maybe you're on a block list for that client. So I know, okay, I got a block list from them, I won't reach out. And then you can also see ones that have been opened. And then also will show you number of email responses, which is a big number if I'm a sales rep. I get to see this, okay, I have 5 people reach back for me for this Q4 deal. Those are now 5 new leads. These opportunities, activities, and quotes. So I'll jump over here, and I'll jump into our lead section. So as we were just discussing, we actually had some leads come off of that Q4 deal. So now when I start my day off, I'm gonna go in here and have the sales rep, that's what I'm gonna check first. I wanna know my leads, what I got coming in the system. A good point I like to point out during this is that this can be integrated with third-party marketing. We have a couple of clients that already have it set up to where they actually feed in from multiple sources these lead generation, so that they could take use of SAP's sales methodology of lead opportunity quotation. And we'll talk more about that in the next phase. So as you can see here, I actually, again, touching points on the colorful UI, you can see that we have color coding now for namings of customers. Again, this just makes a quicker scan. So I know going down here, you can see that my A's are obviously in a blue color here, C's a little bit more pinkish. It's just easier on the eyes, and it's a more modern look and feel to actually click on these and see what they do. So for example, if I click on this lead here, I can see that I've branched out here, and I actually have a conversion, which is a perfect segue into our opportunities when we get there. But I actually took this lead, I harnessed it, I nurtured it, is what we could consider it to be in the system, and now I converted it. So I reached out to this customer through our Q2 deal. They were very interested on our X series computers, and they said, no, we want to do this right now, and that actually generated into an opportunity for me. So what this does is it actually keeps a point of record of when we created this lead to when we actually now have an opportunity. So you can see that sales cycle working right here in front of you. Again, I want to point out the integration possibilities. You have integration possibility with LinkedIn Navigator. This is a big selling factor for a lot of sales reps. What this enables you to do is actually see what individuals were involved in particular leads that have actually went through as successful. So for us, as a sales rep, I could see maybe that when I work with Dave, we're knocking it out of the park. We're getting, we're selling like crazy. And that actually will enable me to build off of that and make more leads with more contacts. So basically, it's encompassing your LinkedIn power inside the CRM. So that's a big integration piece as well. So as we discussed, I'll go ahead and jump now from this lead. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my daily check for my opportunities now. So opportunities, they've done a rehaul too at SAP. It actually integrated some e-learning, some machine learning inside of here. So I'll go ahead and jump into, let's pick this one here. It's a new opportunity for us. So when I jump in here, SAP, again, with this theme update of the 208 release, it actually puts forward the most important information for me. There's no more digging around trying to find information. As soon as I click on this overview, what it does is it brings to me the products, right? So I can see this actually isn't a product lead. This is actually a lead from a product. So I have no products listed here. However, I see my sales team. I see my contact for this opportunity, which is a customer contact, and I see the lead that it came off of. And again, if I wanted to get to that lead, it's a click away to pull me right to that lead, right to where I was at just a minute ago. So this piece here is the click reduction we were talking about in the beginning, and the streamlining of important information. Now I want to turn your attention now to the sales activities, and this is what I was talking about, that machine learning here. So SAP through research has found that there's a couple of steps that you can do to actually better enhance your chances of closing or winning an opportunity. In here, we have different phases and different tasks for those phases that are designed by SAP to actually push forward opportunities and not have a stalled opportunity on your hands. Now, for us, I can see that we have a couple in here that are completed. These, again, are all configurable. We could change anything from the phasing to even the questions and the tasks that are behind them. So if I click on these now, and I'm going to go ahead and add these to me so I can actually have done, you're going to see over here, we're going to get a build out of those activities that are selected. And this as well is going to update my home page to actually show those. So now you can see I went from 4 activities to 10. And it's going to give me those breakdowns here. So I can see I have a couple appointments that are open now. I have 2 open ones. I have a bunch of open tasks. And if I was to jump back to my home tile here, I'll go and hit the refresh. You're going to get a layout now change of all the tasks that have been added. You can see my feed actually shot up too. And it even gives you a reference to how long ago it was created. This is big for me as a sales rep, right? So I'm in here working. All of a sudden, my manager says, you know what, Jeff, I'm going to give you these tasks with a new client coming in. This tells me exactly when I got these notifications, when I got this assigned to me. It also keeps my eye focused on the fact that I have more tasks coming on top of the feed that I have currently with me. That's the big piece there for a sales rep, is to see that information in real time. So again, you can work through these pieces here. It gives you a nice breakdown. It comes with a timeline functionality. Will actually show you from when you've actually made the interactions to when you close. So this is a beautiful chart here. This also was enhanced just recently. So it gives you a working timeline. You can see that, you know, today we actually slammed home a couple of these tasks that were just assigned to me. Okay, so I'll jump back to the home page. That's going to actually be a good segue into our tasks and activities. So as discussed, I went ahead and I said for that opportunity today, I'm going to go ahead and knock out some of these tasks we got. So in here, you'll see that I have a breakdown of my taskings as well as upcoming events. Now, when I created that event, or I created those activities I clicked on, it actually generates some activities for me. And what this does is I can actually click on this activity, and it's going to go ahead and pull me into this activity and actually show me the pertinent information about it, what's going on, what we have going, what I have to do, and it gives me an understanding of what is needed to complete this piece of sales data. However, I also want to showcase that if we click on calendar, we have an integration with Google Maps. So what this does is actually shows me routes and different locations of these different appointments or calls I have to make. So here's my calendar for the day. It's laid out here. And again, I could change this view. This is just showing me a day. I could show my month out. I could show a week out. But the view for right now will stick to day. And you can see, for one, using geo mapping, it's actually pulling in my location currently. So you can see I'm here at our Naperville office. It also is pulling in from my calendar my upcoming events. So I can see, for instance, I have a 2 o'clock and a 5:30 in Rockford. And then over here, this is pulled in now that I have a actual client contact I have to make. At 1 p.m., I have to go down here to Kansas. So it looks like I get a plane here pretty soon and take off. But this gives you an idea, and this is very useful for sales reps. This is one of our big sales points the last couple of years have been this functionality. For instance, if I just give you a brief understanding how this works, let's say I'm a sales rep and I'm going to Rockford today. Drive down to Rockford, I realize I have 3 other clients. Using this show accounts, I could see my other clients in the area. If I know I have a 5:30 here, maybe I could swing off and see one of those other clients as well and do a touch base with them. So this is very important. And when we get to the mobile app, you actually can see how this integrates with your mapping inside of your phone. So it actually gives you quick access to directions. Okay, so I'm going to jump back out of this section here. And we're going to go ahead and talk about sales quotes, the last piece of our sales phasing here. So I'm going to jump now into a sales quote. So as discussed before, I worked with that client. We went ahead, the client's now requested me to make a quote on his opportunity. So here, the quote again, it pulls out in front of you without clicking through anything. It gives you the easy to access data. So I got my products here, what we're selling them for, the pricing is in here. Now this integration piece is another piece to touch on here. Our quoting, sales quoting, it could be integrated with almost all of our SAP ERP backends. So for instance, SAP Business One, SAP S4HANA, all have integrations with sales quoting and with C4C in general. So if I jump now to the pricing here, SAP offers a wide range of pricing. We have pricing, which is called a pricing list, which is held inside C4C. So maybe you don't have an ERP with pricing. You want to just go ahead with the out-of-the-box option. There is a pricing option inside C4C. However, if you have an ERP, let's say B1, for instance, you could actually request external pricing. So as a sales rep, for me, that's excellent. I could come right in my system. I could literally click. There'll be an action that I actually could click on an action. And what it will do is actually reach out to my B1 system and pull live tax and pricing information right into my system. This gives me full disclosure of what I have here. Now, if you really want to get ahead of the game, there's also an integration with SAP CPQ. The SAP CPQ integration is very top of the line. Not only do I get to see what we have in regards to the quoting, to up-to-date quoting, maybe there's discounting, pricing, and stuff like that, I also can see what I stand to make from that quote being quoted out. Again, you still have that same functionality inside here. We offer you, these could all be customizable as well as tax information down to what the client, or me in the case as a sales rep, will be making on the deal. However, the integration with CPQ allows for a more analytical data coming back to you in regards to your different discount pricings. So in here, we also offer a two-tier approval process. So I could actually send this off. If I click this here, I could actually send this out to, I am a manager luckily in this, but I could actually send this out to my manager for approval. And that's what this section right here highlights. It actually highlights the approval process. Again, I'm the manager, so you won't see much here, but what you would get is Jeff Ryan has now sent this quote off to his boss. Maybe the client wants a 10% discount. I can only authorize 5. I could send that right to my supervisor for approval. Also in here comes the integration with a PDF view creator. So if I click on this preview here, it's going to go ahead and show me what I have documented here. This is a big selling piece as well with sales reps, because now it pulls in our Asar water letter here, it pulls up the top part. It also gives us the breakdown of what the customer information is, as well as important as the line information. So it tells us what our net price is, what we're agreement on. Now I could send this off to the customer for signature and then put this as an attachment right back into C4C. That's a big piece, because now I don't have to rely on keeping a third-party system to keep track of all of our approved sales quotes. It's actually right here in the system. As you can tell, this is actually what's signed already, and it's actually been attached to our sales quote. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump back now. Okay, the next piece I want to talk about is the service. Now, this kind of falls into the cloud, the customer cloud, if you would. That's including sales and service. So we're going to talk about tickets and contracting. So in the same system, I could go down here now to the service piece, and I'm going to jump into tickets. Now, tickets could be maintained. I use 2 scenarios for you. So we have a scenario where we have an employee ticket. Jeff, I tried logging in today. It's not working. I've clicked 8 times. I need help from our business side to our business. And then, of course, there's the external pricing. External pricing is, Jeff, I bought a laptop for me. It's not working. I need to schedule a technician. I need someone to come over and help me with my problem, or even just troubleshooting steps over the phone. So in that case, we offer that as well inside the system. So I'll click on this one here. You can see it's a hardware installation. So this piece here, a client called, they had some issues with installing hardware. So in here, you have a couple things we track right off the bat. We'll have the the resolution due date and the resolved on date. So this works great with service level agreements, so SLAs work excellent inside the system, as well as it will keep track of how much time is with you and how much time is with the customer. Again, a nice SLA point, easy to read. It's front and visual for both you and the customer. This piece also offers a very unique integration with the SAP customer portal. So customer portal will actually have an integration piece with the interaction. So basically you could give your customer access to the customer portal. They could go in there, find the ticket they have an issue on, write to you through a chat, and that will be displayed here on this panel. And I could actually interact back and forth with them on this. So there is that unique customer interaction. We've had a lot of positive reviews about that. Customers love it. It gives them access right to a URL to go and see their information. So this plays really well into talking about the contracting. So contracts play off of these as well. So I could have, for instance, a warranty contract that maybe we can give you 10 free years of free service for our laptops. You break it, I could actually come in here and see where we're at on our contracts. And if you jump back, you can actually see we have a contract view here. And what this does is it actually lists out your different contracts that you have out with your customers. So in here, you could keep track of like things of, what you're tracking for. Maybe they have a refrigerator that you sold them and you want to have that displayed. You want to have how many hours they're allotted. That all that information could be kept inside of here as well. Now, jumping back to the ticketing, we also integrated with social media platforms. Now, what this piece allows you to do, it allows you to actually jump into a social media platform to respond back to a customer. So you can see here, I actually have one on hand. We have a customer did not receive a shipment, and this came in from Twitter. And you can tell that based on the Twitter logo here. You can see the bird down. You can see we have Facebook as well. If I jump to this, I can actually see the back and forth writing from the customer and our sales rep. So you can see it going back and forth. And if you actually click on it, it'll actually jump you right to that Twitter feed here. So you can see right here, you should have more down here information. And this is our Twitter account we have set up here. So you can see the tweets that run back and forth with the customer. And what this allows you to do, again, is to have it right here front and access. You could also, we've had customers reverse engineer this. Basically, this could be a great feature to track how customer satisfactions are coming in. So if we tell our customers, hey, you know what, if you're having a bad experience, please go ahead and shoot us a tweet saying, hey, I haven't had that great of experience, or hey, I have had a great experience. This table is actually exportable. So you can actually export this to an Excel sheet. And then from there, you can run formulas saying, okay, how many customers had a bad experience? How many customers had a great experience? This is one of those, we also offer surveys in the system, but this is another look at how you could use a social media platform as well. And again, from here, like I said, you can see that it also interacts with Facebook, as well as attachments. We have attachments could be attached in here from Facebook. You could actually pull into the system as well. Okay, we're going to jump back now, and our next piece is the mobile app. So the mobile app, I'm going to go ahead and share my mobile screen. Just give me 1 second to go and move that off. Okay, sorry about that little hang up here, and I'm going to go and slide this over. And what you're going to see is you actually have access to facial recognition. I have an iPhone, so just scan my face here, and now it's going to pull up my information. Okay, so perfect. So this actually interacts with our home page. So you can see actually the ones that we created before, when we created the 1 second here. There we go. You can actually see that it is showing my upcoming events. So I actually have them all listed out here. And if I click on see all, it's going to pull up my calendar for me in a nice read format. Again, the color schemes play off of the theme you selected. So we have this theme for us right now is the Safira theme that we were just discussing. So now if I click on this, I'm going to click on we have a defining sales team meeting here. This will pull up all the involved parties. It'll pull up the different attachments that may be or may not be with this. You can see I have a couple contacts here. What I really want to show is how it works with your map functionality. So if I click on the bottom one, it's going to show me I have the dinner with Scott from Hamilton, one of our customers. Now, if all you got to do is click on this piece here, and if I click on that map, it's going to pull me right to my maps, and it's going to go and give me my directions. So as a sales rep, this is awesome. I can live right in this system. I could be looking at it all day, and it's okay, I need to get to this other appointment. Easily works with my maps. So I'll go ahead and close that one out. Jump back here. Also on here, you have stuff like leads or opportunities. And if you click on this more symbol here, it actually could bring up your accounts. Another big feature for this as well is I want to see my accounts and what I've got going on. I could easily come in here and look at what's going on in regard to activities to my customers, as well as recent progress on anything I'm working on. This also can be used in offline mode, which is another big seller because I could be, let's say, boarding an airplane and going to a convention. I could actually work on stuff here, land, get internet service, and then update everything that I just did inside my mobile app. So that is a big selling piece we see as well, is the ability to actually just kind of live inside your phone as sales reps do. And also on here, I could click the checkbox if I'm done with stuff, and this is going to go ahead and update C4C that I finished these tasks. Okay. So that leaves us with enough time. I'm going to go ahead and showcase the last functionality of the integration piece I want to show, and that is the Google Maps. I'm sorry, not the Google Maps, the Microsoft Outlook piece. I'm going to pull that up. So this operates natively with out-of-the-box functionality to Microsoft Outlook, as well as Microsoft Excel as well. There's Excel uploads you can use. An example of that is you could actually update a table in Excel and then have that update your SAP C4C instance as well. So in here, once you download, and if I go back to the system here, in your download section here, it gives you a table of available downloads. Now again, this won't showcase all of those. We have tons of integrations. This just showcases quick downloads you could have. So you can see, I was just discussing the Excel. There's also the Microsoft Outlook one here as well. So if I jump, after downloading this, we'll have a network admin that will actually help set the piece up for the C4C side. Now all I have to do is come in here and you'll get this side panel. Go and click sign in. And I already got my stuff pre-filled out, but if you have multiple systems, you have that option here as well. Let's log in. Now what this is gonna do, it's going to enable a couple things. One, to enable syncing. So it's going to take all my appointments I just created in C4C, it's going to sync those to my calendar inside my Outlook. So you're going to see that even here, I had some yesterday. I had a bunch that came through where I had to do different updates and actually sync with that as well. Now, if I jump back to this page here, you can see I got an email from Jennifer Smith about a new deal coming in that she wants. So now, if Jennifer's in the system, which you can tell she is, she's actually been notified in the system as a person. And what it's going to allow me to do is actually, and you can see here, this is one I set myself. It actually does not have me in the system. If I go over here, you can see save contact address book. This means that there's nothing in here for me, and I can actually make this a contact just by selecting the email. So if we go back to Jennifer here, you can see Jennifer's offering us this long list of a job position. If I go down here, you'll see that I have access to not only my feed inside the system, which I could actually update from here. So if I wanted to update anybody, I can literally write back to people in here if they're chatting with me. Also, it has a thing called Shelf. Now what Shelf does is Shelf allows me to see and get quick access to things that I'm currently working on that I've favored. So for instance, I have a Q4 lead here. So I click on the Q4 lead, it's going to pull me from my Outlook right into that lead. And you, as you can tell, it's pulled me straight out of it, and the response time is very quick. I mean, we're in here and it took me 3 seconds to click on. So now it pulled me right into this to this opportunity. Now, if I go over to my activities, right, and I slide down, you're gonna get a list full of your activities just like you would. It's right back into your system. Now, let's say I want to follow a new sales lead. Maybe Jennifer said she was interested in one of our other deals that I'm not currently favored. I'll pick, let's do this product list one here, product list 2. If I come in here, you'll see that you'll have to mark it as a favorite item. So now that I mark this as a favorite, what this does is, and I jump back here, it's actually going to update this table to have that one in there as well. You can see now product list 2 is here. And now let's say, okay, Jennifer actually is going to fit right for this one. This person she's sending us is going to fit right here. I can actually drag this email and drop it right into that opportunity. And you can see you get a little synchronization message here. And now if I click on this, I'm going to just jump back here. You're going to see that it's going to actually put that email in its entirety into the opportunity as a point of reference now. So now if I go to sales activities, I'm going to slide down here. You're going to see, here's Jennifer's email. If I click on it, it's all the stuff she had in an email. It's basically everything that she had in there is now inside here. And this piece is excellent for collaboration. So now if I got an email and maybe my partner got an email from another person looking for a, in this case, this is somebody trying to get placed, we could actually drag these in to an opportunity and work together saying, okay, well, look at Jeff has an email here that came into him. So Jeff got it in, the date he got it in, and what is actually in there. So now we can see what is in this information and what we can pull out of it. So Outlook integration has many different features. The big ones being you could schedule appointments inside there, which synchronize directly to C4C, as well as the vice versa, is bi-directional. I could create in here a task for myself, and it will go over to my Outlook as a task and as an appointment as well. So that piece there, we're going to now jump back to our slide deck to cover the last portion here. So as we touched on in the mobile app, I just want to cover one more thing. It does offer an Android and the Windows Phone as well. Those are both two. I know the Play Store actually has a couple of them, but you select the right, SAP provides the right one you want to select on. So it is a functionality offered there as well. And the integration capabilities, I did want to touch one other part too, and that is the Google Suite. So Google Suite is offered for those of us that use the Google Suite for emailing. There is the same piece equally to that of the Outlook. Outlook is a little bit more advanced, but it does offer the same out-of-the-box interactions. And then, of course, we talked about the SAP S/4HANA integration, the SAP ERP, the Business One. All those touch back. The one we didn't touch on so much was the commissions. Commissions work really great inside the system because, again, they give you a better understanding of the sales rep. So for me, I actually understand now when I do this opportunity what I stand to make. Maybe there's a benchmark that in commissions my manager said, okay, Jeff, I want you to sell 25 laptops this month, and then you're going to get 15%. You'll get that raw information in the C4C, which better helps you make judgments on maybe pushing certain products more than the other ones. So I really want to touch on those. And that is it for the demonstration. I do apologize for going fast. I just want to make sure we had adequate enough time to go over the Q&A. So Dave, I'll go ahead and turn over to you.
Great job, Jeff. Thank you so much. We have one question out there. Does mobile support CPQ?
So mobile integration with CPQ, they do offer the page layouts so you can actually see in there what you're actually looking at when you pull it in there. In regards to full-fledged functionality outside of that, that piece would be interacting with the CPQ system itself. So I would say I would give that a partial as a score, because it does offer some of the functionality, but obviously if you're looking for a full-fledged integration piece, I'm not sure we're there yet with that piece.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Any other questions out there? Since we have a little bit more time, is there anything else you would like Jeff to demo to you today in the new SAP UI? All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, I want to thank you for your time this afternoon. Hope you found it was very educational. and you're more excited about SAP Sales Cloud now than ever before. It's a really good tool. And if you have any questions about implementation or how it's used, just please reach out to me. My contact information is here on the screen. We'll send you a copy of the presentation. And please reach out to Asar for any of your SAP CX needs. Thank you so much for your time today and appreciate your attendance. Thank you.